Okay, so let's show you. I want Maya to quickly show you because she has to go. She's gonna show you about the bed. So let's show her how the bed works.
Okay, first I like to do the middle. First you do this, clutch it.
Do it, quick. Cool. Boom. It's a pickup, and it also turns out to be a flatbed. And it holds up to, I think, 1,500 pounds is the load on the back. 1,500 pound load, which is awesome. So I just wanted to show you that so you guys can see that it's a basic pickup, and it also turns into a flatbed, which is pretty cool.
I can also drive it.
And she can drive it as well. So that's what I wanted to show you. Pretty neat. All right. Again, I paid $2,500 for the truck, $1,500 for shipping it to Galveston, Texas, another $200 for customs, because customs had to go through it, had to get a customs clearance, they call it. They have to inspect it if they want to, and they decided they had to inspect my truck. So they had to go through it, make sure I didn't load any drugs in it or whatever illegally from Japan. So that was $200. I had to hire a customs agent to do that for me, which was $210. And then after that, it was another $100 in storage fees because I couldn't get it right away. And then it cost me $250 to bring it over. So $250, $3, $4, $5, $50, $650. So I'm in it about $4,600. $4,600. They are selling locally. When I look around here in the area, $8,000 to $10,000 with higher mileage. So they got about 30,000 kilometers, 50,000 kilometers, and they're selling for $8,000 to $10,000. This only has 9,500 kilometers on it, which is basically 6,000 miles. Very low mileage. So for $4,600, you get yourself a nice little mini truck. It's a classic. It's something different. And the cool thing is I am pretty sure I can get it registered on the road because it's 25 years old. It doesn't have to be DOT approved, which means Department of Transportation. So going through the process of getting it inspected and all of that should be pretty easy. I can get it insured with Progressive. So I got to get it insured. I got to go get it registered, and then on the road, it'll be cool. It's not highway use. You can't go 80 miles an hour on the highway with it. If you get in a crash, you'll probably be dead. But it's good for around the corner use. If you're living in a small town, or you have a shopping center right around the corner from you, and I think that'll be awesome. So yeah, we are gonna do a build on it. We're gonna make it look awesome. We're gonna put probably some bigger, knobbier tires on it. We are gonna completely paint it, put a cool custom paint job on it with a color scheme, two-tone graphic, three-tone graphic, and it's going to look freaking amazing, I think. The bed is 6.5 feet by 4.5 feet wide. The complete truck is about 10 feet. Let me measure it, in fact, for you right now. So the whole length of the vehicle is about 10 foot 4 inches, which is really small. So it's a short truck, so you could probably fit an easy 3 of them in a 40-foot container. 45-foot container, you'll fit 4 of them. Okay. All right, guys, so before we cut out again, let's get to some basic auto body Q&A. If you have any Q&A, let me know right now, and we'll do some Q&A for the next 15 minutes or so, and basically we will call it a night. And when you get stuck in the sand, simply pick it up and move the rear end over. Exactly, it's so light. If I buy a car with no paint chipping on it, will it be easy to sand it all down and prep it for a professional DIY paint job? Absolutely. Hit it with 400 grit and paint it. Mask it up and paint it. Advice for painting over single stage. What kind of advice are you looking over? You could paint right over single stage with base coat, clear coat, or with another single stage paint, no problem. You're not gonna get any reactions. Seam sealer is supposed to be before all of that. when you're doing your body work. Seam sealer, to me, what you're talking about is basically bonding seams together on body panels, right? You would do that, and then you could epoxy primer over that. So first thing you want to do is you pull the dents out and get it as even and pulled out as much as possible, right? Use that crinkled metal to pull out, to do what you got to do. You want to cut where it's clean, where it's not damaged too much. And you go from there and you do your Bondo. If you're using a good primer filler, that is a good enough foundation base to put your base coat, clear coat on top of. If you're using a primer sealer, you could use that as a base as well. Any sort of 2K primer, thick primer, is a good base coat to put brand new base coat, clear coat paint on top of, or single stage paint. Basically, what you want to do is buff out the unpainted panels. Like here, I did the BMW fender, but I didn't do the door or this quarter panel, okay? There's probably a little color match difference here. This red looks a lot deeper than over here. So what I'm gonna do is buff all this out, okay? You wanna buff out your adjacent panels, the next panels here, with a good buffer, good compound, good glaze, okay? Buff it out and it'll brighten up your older panels to match the new. That's what you want to do. So that's what I do, okay? And it gets close enough to where if you didn't paint the car, you're not going to notice it, right? Other people are not going to notice it, but you might notice a little bit because you worked on the car, but other people, they're not going to have a clue, all right? If you can get it like that, you've accomplished your goal, okay? Peeling clear coat, you could sand it out with a 320 grit, 280 grit, depending on how bad it is. 280 to 320 to 360, and then finally 400, okay? But after 320 or so, you basically want to prime it, right? So you get everything flat, and then you hit it with 400 grit. Water sand or dry sand, whatever you want to do. I like to finish off with water sanding always on my paint jobs because I feel like I get a nicer, cleaner cut. And it's really done nice. That's how I end my prep, with 400 wet sand. I might do a 400 dry sand on a machine to cut it down quick, and then I'll wash it with 400 grit with wet sand with my hand. And then you could just paint your base coat, clear coat right on top of that. All right, hope that helps. What do I got? I got Air Vantage. Okay, it looks like I need a new pad on this one. I got another Air Vantage. I got two Air Vantages. I got this big one. What the hell is this? I think this is a Dynamax or a Dynatread. I don't even know what the hell this is, but it works, still works great. And then I got this one from, I think I got this one from Harbor Freight a few years back. I was giving them away, and then I had an extra one that I never gave away. So this one works well as well. Harbor Freight, I think this one was about 50 bucks. Okay, comes with a little vacuum if you want. But I mean, they're all good as long as you get a 6-inch orbital sander. You could get a regular pad, and then you can get a Velcro pad. So if you're doing your wet sanding, you could use your Velcro, because you don't want to use a sticky paper when you're doing wet sanding. You want to use your Velcro so the paper doesn't come off, get all wet and messed up, right? If you have edges that need to be primed, like you got down to metal, it's good to prime those areas, or where it's good to prime where your feathered edges blend. So when you're blending into your paint and your clear coat, it's good to prime that, because sometimes if you paint right over that, you're gonna see a little line in your final product. So I would prime what you feather out. Okay, I would prime what you feather out, and then 400 grit wet sand, and then you're all good. Hopefully that helps. I got myself a Hutchins Hustler straight sander about 15 years ago. I paid $260 for it, and it still works like magic. Here's my Hutchins Hustler that I paid $260 for a while ago. How old was I? I think I was about 18, 28, 16 years ago. Okay, painting with black always makes me get runs. How can I stop that, even if I use a low amount of paint? Well, you get runs because you don't have your flow correct, your painting flow, okay? When you're painting a car, you need to make sure you are away from the car at a certain distance and you're moving at the same speed all the time, okay? Because if you're not, if you slow down in one area for some reason, that's where you're gonna get the run, right? If you're a newbie novice and you taped up your mirrors instead of taking them off, and you're painting and you don't know how to successfully tilt your gun and go around the area, you're gonna get a run here. It's common. So if you're a newbie, I would highly recommend taking off your mirrors if you're painting a car, so you could go straight across the panel, but not worry about it. If you're a little experienced, you know how to move around these areas and dust it so you make sure you get in here glossy. But you get runs because you're not flowing correctly. You wanna be 4 to 6 inches away from your panel, and you wanna keep a smooth, constant spray across your panels, especially when clear coating. Base coat, not too bad. Clear coating, and you also wanna make sure you watch the light. Okay, you watch the light and you make sure it's laying on glossy when you're doing your clear coat. You mean sanding the headlights down with a machine sander? That can be done. But you know, usually you only need to do it by hand to take off the grime. But these are glass. So you know what actually cleans these up? Triple O or quadruple O steel wool. Takes off all the overspray, all the grime for glass. Do you do classic car restorations anymore? I'm in the middle of a 65 Mustang project. It would be cool to see you work on something similar. Yes, you know, I do plan on doing one. I'm gonna be here for a long time. You know, I'm not going anywhere with this. I do plan on doing a classic probably in the next project. So I gotta wrap up this BMW. This one's gonna get done within the next couple months. I don't think I'm gonna be painting it this year. I'm gonna have all the bodywork done this year, ready for paint. And I'll probably be painting this truck early next year when it starts to get warm again. So this is gonna be sitting around for a while. This is gonna get done and out. The Mazda Miata project, we're gonna finish out the color sanding and buffing on that while I'm here for the next couple of weeks. We're gonna finish the BMW. So those 2 cars are gonna be completely done. How do we send pictures? Okay, I have to think about that because we moved over to the brand new Auto Body membership site, like literally about a month and a half ago. You could use the same exact tip for base coat and clear coat. So when you're done with your base coat, rinse your gun out with lacquer thinner, clean it out, and then mix up your clear coat and spray clear coat. There's nothing wrong with that. 1.3 to 1.4 tip is the ideal tip size you want to use to do base coat, clear coat, enamel paint jobs and single stage paint jobs, all of that painting, you want to use those tips, okay? What are my thoughts on water-based paints? I've done a couple small projects earlier, like a year or 2 ago, but I haven't really done much with water-based. It's not really big out here where I am in this area here in Texas, so I really don't even use water-based as much. It's the same process, basically. So this is what I'm using. I'm using an Ingersoll Rand. What model is this? I am using the Ingersoll Rand regulator filter, 3/8 input airline, and this is it. It's just a small little water trap, okay? I have it hooked up to my compressor here, okay? I have my hose going in, okay? I'm about 10 feet. I got about 10 feet of line going in. I got it set to about 90 PSI, okay? And then 90 PSI comes out to the hose. Here's my water. That's where I drain my water. Okay, and I always drain the water at the bottom of my tank also before painting. And if it's a real hot day and the compressor's on, I'm doing a lot of painting, I'll drain it in between like my base coat to clear coat. So we're gonna do that as well. I'm gonna get some fast signs done. We're gonna make some cool graphics. So I'm gonna have like Learn Auto Body and Paint.com graphic on here. It's gonna look awesome. I can't wait to get this thing done. It's really a quick project. Probably could be done in like a week, but I wanna take my time. I wanna do it right. I wanna make it look nice. I paid $2,500 for the truck, $1,500 to import it. In it about 4,600. Again, there's only 9,600 kilometers on it. I'm gonna keep you posted on everything I do to it. I'm gonna document everything that I do. I documented the complete buy, what I did. All you VIPs are gonna get all that in the members area when this project releases in the next couple of months. All right, so I wanna say thank you for getting on, everybody. For all of you new people on here who have never been on the show before, you can go here to get a free 85-page auto body paint manual. What's up, Aladdin? Thank you so much. Tony, I painted some parts about 2 months ago and I find that they chip very easily. What could be the cause of this? From Trinidad and Tobago. Maybe, I would think your prep was not correct. You didn't prep the car. Maybe you sanded too fine. You didn't finish off with a 400 grit. Maybe you sanded too fine and it's chipping. That's my only thought, because when paint chips, it means that there was no tooth for it for the paint to grab. When you sand at 400, you know, on a microscope, it kind of looks like this. where your paint actually sticks to it, okay? Have a good night, guys. Thank you, Tony Vaz, Danny D. Have a great weekend, everybody. My weekend, I'm gonna be putting the Beamer back together. We're gonna start color sanding and buffing it. I'm gonna get some 1500 grit on DA, do all the high spots, do the whole hood, do the front of the bumper, get all the hot, the high gloss areas. And we're also gonna do the Miata, and my goal is to buff out this and the Miata within the next 2 weeks. Good night, everybody. Have a great night. Thanks for getting on. Please like the video, share it, subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Tell friends and family about the live stream here. Maybe other people can benefit. Have a great day. I'll see you soon. Cheers. Bye.